Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talk with Marie. I'm here with Dr. Renee. I am Marie. I'm like, who is Marie? I am Marie. So tonight is a fun night. It's almost like a weekend. I got my drink. I got my drink. I got my drink. You're like, what's in your drink? And Dr. Renee's going to make us a drink. Okay. So tell us what's going to be in that drink. So tonight we're going to be talking about a health reset, what lesson you're learning from getting no's, but also what's in your cup, how you're filling your cup with something healthy to fuel your body, mind, spirit, inside and out. So Dr. Renee, let us know what's in your cup. What's in your cup? You muted. Let's unmute.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. It's always a good time to have a mocktail. This is a pineapple fizz mocktail, but I always like to add a little something to my fizzes. So I'm gonna add my chia seeds here, just a little bit, not much, not a lot,
That's a
and
new
then
one.
swirl them around because they get a little clumpy. And then I'm gonna add the actual fizz to that,
Pineapple.
and I
I
will.
need that. I don't have that
Yep. And as they do the dance, I need to stir it up.
yet. You like stir. A
Stir it
little
up.
stirring, a little stirring.
Get my little. Yep.
Mm.
And the chia just gives a little extra layer of protein and
Punching it.
fiber.
That's all.
I love it.
Okay. You're like, cheers. You can't see mine. So mine is more of a citrus combo. So I did the grapefruit. I forgot to tell you the grapefruit. So I got grapefruit, lemon, and then there was something else in there. I think I added a little blood orange combo. So it's like a triple citrus. So um so that's the combination. So we start with our yummy because one of the reason like Dr. Renee started this is because she wanted energy. So right now instead of a cup of coffee, we decided, oh, let's do a fizz together. And that one is gonna this is the thing that's gonna be gifting events after events. We're gonna be having mocktails and facials. We're gonna have tizzies and facials. It's a lot of fun night. So you can unmute. So we're gonna have some fun.
Mocktails and facials, tizzies. She just told me tizzies with tea and a fizz together, and facials for our wellness reset. So I need you all to just come on, get on the wellness train with us so we can all be buffed and ripped this summer.
Gotta be buff. I don't know about,
Yeah.
but the thing is, we're gonna have fun. And this is why we're using flavors. And probably next week, once I have the special ingredients, my favorite fruit ever has been combined in a fizz. Okay, like I mean, I'm more of a mocktail person. Cocktail, you can always quickly shift that around. But when you start adding tropical fruit to the mix, they had me, as you know that word. They had me at, you want to say the word? Which fruit are we talking about?
Are we talking about mango or watermelon? Oh,
For me, it's mango. No, no, go ahead. For me, it's mango. For you,
I think it's water. I don't know. I like them all. I like blood orange. I like the
for
grapefruit.
you, two
But I'm
watermelon.
interested. I'm intrigued with the watermelon. So I'm going to try the watermelon fizz. I'm going to get some of
So
that
I
by
am
next week.
team mango peach because I will eat mango in anything. So next week, I'm gonna get mine. So for those of you who are listening, if you want to make a switch from caffeine and having caffeinated drink, and you're like, I need some energy, that's where Dr. Renee was, where she's just like, I need a boost midday. I'm gonna go to the coffee shop and get my shot. And I've reduced my intake of coffee. I love coffee. And the beauty of the thing is I still do my protein coffee shake, but it's not as high in caffeine as when you go get it in the store. And so that was a great way for me to boost my energy, but not go and do highly caffeinated drinks. And so it's a great combo. But also, as you can see, on a weekend, we can still be healthy and having fun and having these tasty, just the color, just the color. I'm telling you. So, if you want to know, we have some fun events coming up, and I want to say congrats to you. You've been doing some amazing events virtually to share with people your wellness journey, but also um, your launch of your business and getting people to be healthy, happy, and to really have fun during their journey of really taking care of themselves inside and out. And so you've been going to events, checking you out. Yesterday, I'm like, I'm channeling you. You went out and about. So share with us like what it's been like for you to kind of not kind of, but you're showing up more for yourself, going places, but also building those relationships, even when you're like, I don't feel like it. I'd rather just be home
I'd
and
rather just be home and That's how I felt last night. The Arbonne training in Catonsville. Shout out to my Maryland people, my Maryland Arbonne team. I was like exhausted Friday night. I was like, I can't. I just don't want to. I don't want to drive. I don't want to do it. And then just something told me, go beyond with be open to the possibility of just meeting new people. You got to get to meet new people. So I made myself. I took a bath. I took a nice bath, and that kind of rejuvenated me. I had a fizz. I had my blood orange fizz with some water for my ride, and I really, when I got there, I didn't know nobody. I knew no one, and that was frightening. But I went anyway. I knew no one, and that was just frightening. But the bar was in the back, so I went to went to get me some wine, and wound up not even getting wine. I got a mocktail, and had an amazing time, and went back today to some Arbonne family in Westminster, and it was amazing as well. So I'm just so excited to be a part of this wellness, be on this wellness train, and we just need other people to be on the train with us. So
you
come on,
ready.
join us.
So Dr. Renee is ready to
Dr.
teach
Renee
new
ready to teach
passengers. We riding the train together. So for those of you listening on Wisdom, we have people listening in different platforms. So thank you, Karen, Eternity, Finn, uh, Giovan, and Valerie for tuning in on Wisdom. And I know others are listening on other platforms from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. What else do we have going on? LinkedIn is in the house. So thank you everybody for listening, watching, and it's been amazing just having you be part of our journeys in terms of sharing our stories in terms of how we got here. So let's do a quick reset, our favorite word, reset, in terms of thinking about how did you get here in terms of really prioritizing your wellness, but in addition, getting more comfortable sharing why you made the decision for you to say, you know what, I need to be well, but I also want to show other people how to be well in this time that we're living in right now.
I believe this journey has been, I'm gonna say probably the last 20 years, but the last 10 and the last 5 have been probably most crucial because one, I was an older lady having younger kids, and I said I need to be able to have the energy to chase these boys if necessary. That's the first thing. I need to have the muscle, and I need to have the energy to be able to sustain this later in life parenthood I signed up for. Okay, that was the first thing. So I would just do yoga. I went and got my yoga certification. I did wellness wellness retreats and things of that nature. And always was one, maybe in the last 20 years, that did not eat a lot of, decided not to eat a lot of meat because of eczema and skin and all this other stuff and asthma. So, I was just on my path to trying to just do different things. And so I've done yoga, mindfulness meditation, and so on. And then Arbonne was one of the things that I chose because it's just clean. It don't have all them pesticides and all those other things in it that we consume all the time, and it's just a healthy, clean product. And so I used it first before I even told anybody because I need to make sure that it tastes it's good for me so I can explain it to you. And so being on this Arbonne journey and being on this healthy journal, Arbonne just fits right in there. It just fits. Okay, now it's like, okay, you got your other things you do. You ride your bike, you're active. So now what is your nutrition? What are you putting on your face and your skin? How's that absorbed into your body? So all of those things are important. All those things are necessary.
For those of you who are tuning in and hearing about the journey, because a lot of time we jump to doing this stuff, and I think people get overwhelmed where it's like, oh my God, I got to make all these changes at the same time. And I think there is a thread between our own journeys. For me, it was about watching a lot of my family members, especially the women, as you know, will take care of everyone else, making sure the babies are fed, this person is fed, and taking care of them. And then for them, when they get sick, so, a family member like my aunt who dealt with heart disease, and then my mom, was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of cancer. And so for me, it was just like, I don't need certain things to be happening to me for me to realize you got to make a change. Because regardless of my age, I was so young. I was at the time when those things started happening, I was under 40. And I always thought like, ooh, a lot of the tests I need to take, I have to be in my 40s. And I was just like, you know what, let me go find some things out. And of course I discovered so many different things. Like, I had not had, I mean, still dealing with sciatica, I have migraines, so many different issues where I realized it was all about how I'm not using food as my medicine, but also the stress level, all the jobs that I've had. Again, just like the people in our family, we work two, three, four, five jobs. Like I've had multiple jobs while being in grad school, while raising a baby, while dealing with unemployment and being laid off. All that stress on my body and mind took a toll. And so I knew I had to do things differently and not wait for all the diagnosis, all the wake up call. But the women in my family were the wake up call. Like I feel like I didn't have to have what they have, that a lot of those things were literally already in my DNA. So I feel like as we're having those conversations that I want to make health part of part of a generation. I want health to be generational. I want wellness and being well to be a generational gift that keeps on giving generation after generation. And I want health to be the way we talk about wealth, that I think our health is as critical as our generational wealth. I don't know what you think about that.
No, it's totally connected. If we're not around, we're not well. Our minds are not sound. We don't have the energy to enjoy our wealth. Then what's the point? Like the health and the wealth are so connected, and I think we just got to think outside of what we've been taught. I mean, our parents and our grandparents had the diet they had because that's all they had. But now in this age, we got so many different choices. Like this, like just like thinking about milk. When I had my daughter, some 30 years ago, we had the choice of cow's milk that was causing her to have some, I think some skin issues and maybe some a little bit of asthma. But when I changed her to rice milk,
Mm.
I couldn't hardly find that. Now you can go in the store, you can go into a Dollar General or a corner store, you can find almond milk, you can find cashew milk, you can find oat milk. So just like knowing that it's a whole new world out there with when it comes down to food. And now there's no excuse because there are places where they're food deserts, but Amazon and Whole Foods and all these. And I'm not. Well, they can give me a sponsorship if they want, but you can get food delivered. You can get food delivered on your doorstep. So there's no reason we cannot get the food that we need. We just got to make the best choice. We got to make a better choice. That's all.
True. The one thing I want to, that's the line of work that we in. I think one of the things I've been learning a lot about is also the idea of, as women, what we're putting on our skin and our mouth affects everything, right? Like the skin is the biggest organ. And I used to not take that eyes. I used to not take that seriously, but also the idea that, I want to believe that food is accessible. But one of the things I've learned since I started being in the health and wellness piece is there's this disparity between wanting to be healthy and those dealing with food insecurity, but also access to good, healthy food, which I think part of the work that we do, and I know you love doing that, is the idea also even culturally. Someone who's I grew up, my family's from the Caribbean, being like of Haitian descent. is the idea that we grow our food, that we cook very differently. And we live in a culture now, even in the pandemic, where people are not realizing how the ability to grow your own food, the ability to have access to food where you know where your food come from, that it's not coming from the store, right? Like regardless of where you live, for us to find ways for people to grow food wherever they're at. And it's not as complicated as it is. So I think it's probably one of those future conversations to really think about. Don't think that it's hard to find. Like I've seen some amazing people throughout the US and abroad looking for such creative ways for them to grow their own food. But also to know like you have alternative. Like a lot of time I don't want to also, because I have access, to assume. So for me it's been also like I'm not the one who's going to be cooking all the time. I'm also not the one, even if it's delivered, I'm not in the mood. So that's why I think a lot of the food, a lot of the things we're eating, like you should be having like servings of vegetables and all these different things. So the plant-based products that I choose to use, that I have the ability to purchase and make an investment in my own health, is because I know what's in it, right? So if I know I'm not going to be able to do this and do that, knowing if I'm drinking this, I'm not adding extra chemicals to it, particularly as a woman, where anything we put in our body, on our skin, affects everything, our mood, our hormones, everything. Sometimes you're like, why is this happening? Why do I feel this way? It's literally what we expose to in our environment, what you're drinking, what you're eating, you know.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. And but that just brings me full circle back around to Arbonne. Um, One of the things I like and love about what their products is that one is not a lot of sugar. The greens are just amazing for us who don't really eat greens. Putting them in a smoothie, putting them in a drink, putting them in a juice, any way you can get them in are just amazing, and it's easy and it's simple. I mean, so it's just no excuse for us to say we don't want to. We have to change our minds. If we once we change our minds, our bodies will follow.
I love that. And the mindset is key, because the other piece I think I mentioned to you is that by taking care, mind your mind, but also the idea of having self care being at the core of it, the idea of being well. Because I think sometimes people think because they're doing all these different things, that it matters, but defining what does being well means to you. But the idea of also being joyful, the idea of being having positive relationship, being around people who boost your energy, but also again fueling your body with what you need. Not because you stress and you're like, I'm gonna go for that slice of cake, or I'm gonna go for like two, three, four, 5 glasses of wine. And again, we can do things in moderation, but we don't realize, and sometimes we do and we don't, like it's because we stress, it's because we're escaping, it's because we are hurting, it's because so many things around us is making us feel not our best, that we go and get soothed and get comfort from the food, from the dessert, from the stuff. And part of this journey is also, how am I taking care of myself? What does that mean to me? And I love what you do in terms of the mindfulness that you integrate by breathing. Like sometimes, it's like I used to really not like that word. It's breathe. And I'm like, I am breathing. What do you think I'm doing now? I am breathing. But I love your guided breathing and stretching. A lot of us are sitting more. We are not moving as much. Part of it is the pandemic, part of it it's not, because I think a lot of our conditions of lack of activity were pre-existing. And so I think it's an opportunity to really, as you mentioned earlier, that health reset in terms of thinking about what can we do differently? What is that one thing? And I always say one thing. Like you, for example, you chose to focus on your energy. As an educator, as someone who's always on the go, you felt like, I don't want to drink 2, 3 cups of coffee. Let me think of something, an alternative. And I appreciate you being open when I was able to offer it and say, would you consider this? Versus like, no, I'm good, and keep doing what you're doing. But you also saw the reaction in your body, right? In terms of how you crash after a cup or 2 cups, and you really didn't have the energy you were looking for. But really think about what's that one thing you want to work for as you're listening. What is that one thing you personally want to be working on? And so those conversations will continue, but I'm going to switch quickly to one of the lessons we wanted to share today is, as business owners, as people who are doing different things, whether educators and so forth. This week we had a conversation about getting no's. But it's also, sometimes people are like, how is this all related? I think it goes to, again, depending on what you're doing sometime, that fear of rejection and how what you're dealing with throughout your day. can make you make certain decisions about how you take care of yourself or not take care of yourself. And I think hearing no's, not, those things can also affect you. So how do you like in getting no's?
When you say no, you mean when somebody you ask for something, somebody tells you no. Somebody say no.
Not just stuff. I mean, now, for example, as a business owner, you may say, hey, like for example, if you had said, Marie, I'm good with my coffee. I don't need your drink. Keep your drink. Right. And and also sometimes too, the conversation we're having about wellness, like there are people you talk to and you say, hey, like I know you mentioned you want to be better at this, you want to start moving more, you want to do a health reset, right? And then the person is like, how do you deal with that? That's a no.
Yeah. Okay. I know. I don't know. I'm learning. I think it's about, and I don't want to say this, but it's about packaging, right? There may be different times. It depends on my approach of how I may ask somebody, and it may not be the right time, right? It may be that if I ask if they want to come to my wellness um, launch, they want to come to my wellness launch because I'm doing a wellness business, or if they want to try out the fizz or the tea or whatever, I just have to go back. I feel like I just need to react. So react in a different way, or maybe provide a service or something, maybe even give a sample. Just gotta repackage it and go back around. And I don't know. I have not gotten a no yet that I didn't think I could go back and react yet. And that's not me, because I don't even like asking, right? But I know I have to ask. I have to ask. If I don't ask, a closed mouth does not get fed. And this is about to get to that point where I need to be able to build a business so that I can feed my family.
Mhm.
I
I like
mean, I mean, it gets down to the basics like that. Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's the connection because initially I was going to have a conversation be about the power of the ask. And you see how you connected it before. You were like, this is so broad. What does that even mean? That's the connection, right? Because a lot of time people don't ask because they don't want to hear no. They don't want to be rejected. They already assume they're going to get no. And even if you do get no, that's the thing I had to learn literally the first few years being in the getting no from people I never thought I would get no, but also getting my mindset ready where I'm like, the more no I'm getting closer to my yeses. And eventually I focus on the yes, but at the same time, I don't expect yes or no from people, right? I approach it being very open. I'm simply offering something and to reset my own mind in terms of you're not saying no to me, you're saying no to the thing, you're saying no to you not looking into something that could be helpful to you, you're saying no to what you don't want to do. And my thing is, I respect that and I move to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And so if you happen to like change your mind, but I don't let it affect my message and what I want to share with people and what I'm offering. And for me, what we're doing is all about showing people how to be well, how to be healthy, and the gift of putting themselves first. And so if you're saying no to that, that's your right. You have the right to say no, and do what's best for you. And so that took years for me to learn and be okay with it and remove myself. Like nobody's saying no to me. But I think it's really hard for those who are first starting out, particularly from those who are familiar or friends or families, where they're just like, I don't know what this is. No, or any other ways that they say no by so many other ways. Sometimes they say no by not saying no, right? And so that's a way to do it. So my thing is one of the things I appreciate is that we have a great team. I'm grateful you said yes. I'm grateful you say yes to you. You say yes to your wellness. You say yes to taking better care of yourself and to be well, particularly as someone who's showing people how to do it. Sometimes we think we know everything. And so we don't need someone to guide us. And I'm grateful like I can learn like how do I breathe? How do I stretch from you? And now you doing certain things. And you, I think, gradually and every time you're doing something, how you growing and showing up for yourself even when you don't want to, even when you're scared, even if you don't know all the answers. Sometimes people think they have to have everything ready and then I'm going to show up. Like you showing up, you just showing up and learning and growing, right? So, any thoughts around that? Is that no making more sense?
It is making sense. It's making sense, but you're right. It's hard for for a person who's not really a, and I'm not saying sales, but asking people to, I'm offering you something and you tell me that you don't really want it, you don't need it, and even though I know that you probably do, if you don't need it, I know you probably know somebody who do, and so I haven't, I guess I have not gotten to the point where I feel like I'm not going to ask that person ever again. No, I'm going to next week too. I'm having a launch next week too. I'm having my business is here for as long as I'm going to be a part of it, and every chance I get a chance to ask you if you would like one of these things that I'm offering. I like that commercial saying, "Girl, I got this lip gloss. It is good. It is popping. Come on, get my lip gloss. It's popping. It is so good. Girl, you just don't." I said, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that Instagram. It's good. I got these fizzes over here. They be popping. They be so good. You need to try it on, girl. 'Cause it is so good. Yes. So yeah, I think I just gotta keep trying. Keep trying.
I love it. So don't give up. I know a lot of business owners, new business owners, entrepreneurs, people who, doing side hustles and they're doing those things alongside their jobs. I'm doing that. We doing that. We still have our regular jobs and we want to be able to grow our businesses, not just one, the ability to take care of our family, but also take care of ourselves in the process, but also learning the positive, what we're learning along the way, the lessons, the failures, the successes, because that's how we're learning and growing as people. And to me, that's part of wellness, right? The ability to share how it's going. Because sometimes we could make it seem like everything is well. Everybody says yes, everything is wonderful. But I think it's important to share the up and down because it's not all great, especially as business owners. A lot of things we do behind closed doors where people don't see the struggle, where only we show when it's amazing and we happy go lucky. But it's amazing for me that we can get healthy, get well, add a dose of joy with what we're doing and showing other people how to do that. Those who want to and be like, you know what? I need a health reset and I know you can help me. And we always say with one thing, we're not saying change your whole life overnight or do something where you're like, I don't know what this is. We're learning to, I mean, Renee has some great recipes. I'm not the chef or the cook when it comes to certain things, but we'll show you like what's in our drink. What are we cooking? What are we eating? And eventually, when it gets nicer, even indoors, I'll show you what I'm growing because I'm also very into like plant based nutrition, but also how I'm supplementing that me by growing certain things. So you get to know how we're doing, how we're living healthy and continuing to challenge each other, hold each other accountable, and we'll be providing that for a group, for our community very soon. So if you're interested, Renee is on IG. We both on IG. Tap in, DM us, send a message. And even if you're just curious and be like, I want to take a look. What is this thing you were talking about? Reach out. Don't stay like wondering, I don't know. I don't know. But just come, take a look. If it's something that fits, it fits. If it doesn't, just keep doing what you're doing. That's it. Any final words for listeners, viewers?
Hit me up. I'm on Dr. Mama Educator on Instagram and Renee Tangela on Facebook. I think I'm the same thing on LinkedIn. Hit me up. Let us know how we can support you. And if you're interested in our 30 Day to Healthier Living, if you're ready to get on the wellness train, get your ticket. Get your ticket now.
I love it. So everybody, thank
I
you
love
for
it. So
tuning
everybody,
in.
thank you for tuning in.
We'll be back next week or next time. Thank you to our Wisdom family, Wisdom community, and thank you to everyone on our multiple platform tuning in. If you have any questions, leave a comment, share the video with somebody else you think who may benefit from what we're sharing today. And if you're ready for that health reset, take a step. Take a step, one step, and change those habits. And that's how we're going to be planting those seeds and be well. We're going to be well together. I'm Marie, and we'll see you next time with Dr. Renee. Have an awesome weekend. Bye, y'all.